Good morning, everyone. This video will show the exposition of Chapter 2 of the book Finanzas en Mercados Internacionales. My group is conformed by Andrea Parrado, Edwin Rodriguez, and who speaks, Miguel Sanchez. This chapter covers all about currency. Currency. A currency can be defined as a deposit at a financial institution in a currency other than its own. The foreign exchange market is one of the most important markets, both for its size and for the fact that it is considered as the market base of international financial markets. Let us not forget that in this market the price of the currencies of the different countries is formed, which affects not only the financial markets but also the economies themselves. If someone in Spain decides to buy shares on the New York Stock Exchange, in addition to observing the movements of these shares, he must be attentive to the evolution of the dollar, because it can be happen that you earn by selling the shares on Wall Street, it lost when converting dollars into euros. The International Monetary System. The International Monetary System is the institutional structure in which international payments and capital movements are made, and where exchange rates between currencies are determined. Throughout history, this system has evolved in 5 different times. System based on 2 metals. The exchange rate was determined by the amount of metal held by the count, where in this system the most important facts were the outstanding currencies pound, French franc, and German mark, which had their value according to the quantity of the metal of their currencies. France promoted a monetary system that was governed by a single currency between the countries of Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, Greece, and Romania. The system was known as Union Monetaria Latina. The peseta was created in 1868. The classic gold pattern. Traditionally, gold has been considered as a metal whose position represents wealth. The Greeks inherited that attraction for gold and began to issue coins composed of gold, where in this system the most important facts were: United Kingdom was the first country that decided to use the gold standard along with the pound sterling. Portugal adopted the same pattern of gold brought from Brazilian in 1854. The German Empire, which received compensation from France after the war, adopted the pattern in 1875. France adopted the pattern in 1878. United States adopted the pattern in 1879. After the previous powers adopted the gold as a pattern, many of the countries also married, including Spain, who had to change the peseta and adapt to the system, including Mexico, also adapted it despite being a major silver producer. London is the center of the international financial system. The system fails because of 2 reasons. The first, that the favorite countries were the most gold producers, causing a lack of liquidity in the rest of the country that didn't find enough resources. Period between wars. The beginning of World War I caused most industrialized countries such as the UK, France, Germany, and Russia suspend the exchange of notes in gold and embargoes be imposed by gold exports, where in this system the most important facts were: in the 1920s, economies stabilized and countries began to return to the gold standard, but it was now the United States that replaced the United Kingdom as the dominant economic power. United States pushed for greater trade liberalization. The great depreciation and the persistent devaluation of the pound ended up destroying the gold standard. In September 1931, the British government suspended payments in gold and established the free flotation of gold. Other countries followed the English steps, and even the United States permitted the free flotation of gold in 1933. The Bretton Woods Accords. In July 1944, representatives from 44 countries met in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to design a new international monetary system. Out of this negotiation came three agreements. International Monetary Fund. The heart of the agreements and its purpose was to describe the rules of international monetary policies. The World Bank, in shares of financing development projects. International Financial System, based on US dollars. Among the main characteristics were ensure free multilateral trade. Countries borrowed only from the IMF. USA and England sent a proposal to expand international trade and employment by removing restrictions. The General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade is created to achieve progress in trade liberalization. The U.S. maintained a trade deficit due to its foreign debt. In 1873, the dollar fell in a bearish spiral that forced central banks around the world to buy dollars. The system of variable types. The variable rate system was ratified by the IMF members in January 1976 in the Jamaica Agreements, in which it was decided that gold was officially abandoned as an international reserve asset. All of the gold held by the IMF was returned to the members and the other half was sold. The benefits were used to help poor countries. Non-oil exporting and less developed countries would have a preference for access to IMF funds. Among the most important facts is the creation of the European monetary system based on three pillars: a basket of currency denominated ECU with that the currencies of the members' countries. A fixed exchange rate was established within each of the currencies and the ECU. A central exchange rate was fixed between the different currencies, allowing a band of 2.2%. The institution responsible for overseeing the system was the FECOM, which was able to deliver credits in ECUs to members' countries. In 1999, 11 European countries launched the single currency, the euro, which replaced all the currencies of the countries participating in this system.
Market types and exchange systems. The foreign exchange market is the most powerful market of those that exists. There are many buyers and sellers. The foreign exchange market is established in most of the world and its trading volume is very high. Its main characteristic are a foreign exchange market that is exchanged only with other currencies. Asian, European, and American markets are part of this. At 15 hours in Europe, the US foreign exchange market begins, and it's the biggest moment in trading volumes. Participants. There are two types of markets: wholesalers and retailers. The wholesalers represents 87% of the retailers, about 13%. Within the market, we find 5 categories: international banks, bank customers, no bank intermediaries, dips brokers, and central banks. International banking represents the heart of the foreign exchange market. There are approximately 200 banks. The clients of international banks are multinationals, money managers, and private speculators. No bank intermediaries are not bank financial institutions, such as societies and securities agencies, with a frequency and size in transaction in the foreign exchange market that enable them to have a currency table to negotiate it directly with international banks. Currency brokers buy and sell in the market, but do not adopt their own position, since they only operate the third parties in exchange for a commission. The added value of brokers is their knowledge of the quotes of different currencies, and it is used by participants in the interbank market to buy and sell quickly one amount of currency in exchange for another. Bank Central also often participate in the foreign exchange market if its exchange rate is fixed. They buy or sell their currency to maintaining, and it has a proprietary parity, and it is the exchange rate is variable to achieve a level of exchange rate in accordance with the monetary policy of the country. Different relation in change between currencies. Basically, there are the following exchange rate systems. First one, exchange rates with another currency as a reference. Formal dollarization, for example. The country uses the currency of another, which is usually of a strong currency and with a stable inflation, and acts as a legal reference. This strong currency is usually the dollar. Exchange remains without reference currency. Monetary unions. Members belong to a monetary unions with a single currency that serves as the monetary unit. By adopting this style of regime, the authorities give up control over the local monetary policy, so that it can be assimilated to a radical floor or fixed rate. The third one is currency board. It is an exchange rate regime based on legislation aimed at establishing a fixed parity between the national currency and a foreign currency in such a way that they are perfectly interchanged, but only thought a currency board. A conventional fixed rate agreement with a coin or basket. The country formally or de facto links its currency at a fixed rate to another currency or to a basket of currency whose components are the currency of the country with the highest transaction volume. Waves within with the basket reflects the geographical distribution of transaction service of capital flows. Five types: forward and backward adjustment. The currency is periodically adjusted to the parity with a single currency or basket, with fixed rates changed in small amounts in response to change in selected quantitative indicators. Fixed types with horizontal bands. The coin can be moved within fluctuation margin of at least 1% around a central time. Authorities remain alert to defend the burdens of against direct or indirect interventions. Fixed exchange rates within adjusted band, forward and backward. The currency remains within margin of at least percent around a central rate, which is adjusted periodically in a small amounts in response to changes in some quantitative indicators, strong or other direct flows without flash targets. The authorities intervene actively to control the long-term trend of the exchange rate, but no predetermined target are specific. Intervention can be direct or indirect. Free floating. The exchange rate is determined by the market. Any intervention in the market both to moderate the exchange rate and prevent inflation is not justified by the economy fundamentals.
The exchange rate, buyer and seller type. In the currency market, currency exchange currencies and exchanges to the price is the exchange rate between currencies. This relationship is called the exchange rate and indicates the amount of a currency that the market offers for a unit of another. The international standard ISO 4000 has 4270 was created by the aim of defining three letters coded for all the world's currencies. This eliminates the confusion caused by some currency names such as dollar, the franc, or the pound, which are used in main countries which have very different exchange rates. The exchange rate is twofold. There is a buyer exchange rate and seller exchange rate. An entity will be willing to buy dollars a price, but it does not have to coincide with the price at which it is willing to sell generally the buyer type in creator of the foreign exchange market. Direct and indirect type. In the currency market, the exchange takes place between two currencies, so you can hide the exchange rate from the point of view of each of the parts. For example, if we buy dollars for 0.8274 euros, we can put the exchange rate in the way. The counterpart is seen in another way. He is shilling a dollar euros, but is willing euros. The left-hand currency is called the base, and the right-hand currency is called another. Most currencies trade against strong currencies, such as the dollar or the euro, but there might be two not strong currencies that do not have a market between. There is possibility of node is exchange rate thrown to the scaled crossed type. For example, if we know the exchange rate of the Hong Kong dollar against the dollar, and in turn we know the exchange rate Saudi Riyal against the dollar of Saudi Arabia. Arbitration with three coins. In a worldwide commission, suppose we decide to exchange a euro for dollar and then resulting amount per to finally change the whole amount back to euros in the reasonable to think the quantity of obtaining a was belief than or sign, otherwise we would have figured out would arrange person doing advantage other than changing coins.
Transactions in the foreign exchange market. Transactions in the interchange market. We can find 5 types: cash spot, a term outright, a term swap, with options, or with futures. The most important in terms of trading volume are spot transactions, forward transactions, and swaps. Spot and forward transactions. Transactions between currency with a maturity of less than 48 hours are called spot transactions, whereas forward transactions have a maturity that is usually standardized at 1, 3, 6, and 12 months. The price of a currency depends on the interest rates of the currency involved, since the bank to which the money is requested must now buy the currency requested and invest it at the foreign interest rate. The amount received must be such that just money, counting term, in which the first of the operation is made in cash. Term, where the first of the operation is performed at date higher than the counted but lower than the date of which the second of the operation is performed. Swap operations in the foreign exchange market are by volume the most used by market participants and are traded throughout the premium or discount with respect to cash.
Foreign exchange options. Introduction. The options of currency are similar to the financial ones, but they have some nuances that they are work highlighting related to own characteristic of the currency, as already mentioned. The foreign exchange market is characterized by being a market where they buy currency in exchange for another currencies. So that in each operation there will always be a purchase and a sale of different currencies. This feature influences the option signs having call options if you have the right to acquire a unit of the coin A for an amount of the coin B, but the same could be done with a put option where you have the right to sell a unit for B for an amount of A. Valuation of currency options. The most widely used methods of valuing options are the black scholes, bias, equations, and the binomial methods. The bias equation is used for European options to calculate the value of an option on a US dollar in exchange for a number of euros, if the case of the nomenclature is that the numerators is counterpart and denominators is the basis. The formulas would be like you can see in the presentation. In the binomial systems, we must first establishing the matrix of possible price using this example and methodology period with the same data as those used in the BS formula. The increase in price is calculated with the following expression.
Thank you for your time and attention. Have a nice day.